this is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. I am going to do a kitten chat today. I haven't done a video like this in ages, a chatty video as I call them, you know, whip and chats, kitten chats, all that good fun. It has been yonks. I mean, I never do them that regularly, so I feel like I start every kind of kitten chat video by saying, oh, I never do these, I haven't done one in ages, but it really has been a long time this time. So yeah, I've got loads to catch you up on, so much in fact that I don't know if I will get through everything and catch you up fully on all things cat in this video, because I'm kitting up laundry black cats and it only has 31 colours, so I don't think this is going to be a super long video. So yeah, I'll get through what I can get through, and then, you know, maybe I'll do a whip and chat sometime soon. Yeah. So let me get into this. I'm not going to do a full unboxing because I did that when I bought this, which was Black Friday last year. So if you check back to kind of late November, early December, I'm not sure exactly when it would have been up, then you will find the unboxing for this kit. Yeah, I'm just going to show you the canvas, and that's about it today. So I need my sticky labels. No treasure quest card because that's already in my, what's the word? Like the trading card pouch, wallet thingy that I got. So I need those. And I will deal with that later. So let's just have a quick look at it. Whoops, the drills escaped into the bag. Yeah, I fancied doing a round drill kit. I haven't done one in a while. I've always had a preference for square kits, but I used to really enjoy doing a round kit every now and again as well. And then I kind of went off them for a while because I was having issues with spacing. I like to multi-place as much as possible, and I find it harder with rounds anyway, and I was just finding the spacing wasn't quite right, and I found it frustrating, and I just spent all my time straightening drills and that kind of thing. But then Diamond Art Club adjusted the spacing, and it took me a really long time to realise that that's what they had done. Ooh, that's sideways, cat. So I was still not avoiding them, but like not really picking them either. But yeah, I did one at Christmas and I was like, oh, actually this is really satisfying now. So I thought that this would be fun because it's not huge. It's 55.6 centimeters squared. So it's also not small, but you know, and it's quite blocky. It's going to give me, well, it's very blocky really by my standards of the kits I choose. So it's going to give me opportunities to practice multi-placing with rounds more. But yeah, it's super fun. I'm not sure if this is one I will do all in one go or not. It's going to get quite samey. That is the downside with this kit. This is definitely one that I picked because I absolutely adored the artwork, more so than I looked at it and thought, yeah, that would be really fun. Because I don't like massive amounts of colour blocking, and I do need variety of colours. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I wouldn't be surprised if I do a couple of rows and then put it away and have a break and do something else and come back to it. That's how I tackle kits where for one reason or another I burn out of them a bit. So yeah, that is my plan. So it's gorgeous. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be adorable. And yeah, for all I was going to say my issues, that's a bit dramatic. For all the reasons that, you know, I don't maybe enjoy rounds quite as much as squares, I do love the sparkle on them, and that's going to be really fun for this kit. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be kitting up into this round storage bottle holder thingy, which has 30 spaces, and because I've got 31 colours, I've also got one of these random ones. I found these years ago now on, I think it was like AliExpress or somewhere, and they were pretty cheap, and they're just, that's a really big pot. Like compared to that, it stores a lot. So I will find what colour is the biggest pot and put that in here, and then go for it, basically. Yeah, so what do I need? I feel like I haven't done a kitting up video in so long I've forgotten what I'm doing. Bowl for all my rubbish. Let's get the drills out. Hoping they're not going to be too staticky because I haven't done anything to prepare them. Ooh, it might be that one. That is huge. But yeah, let's get going. Right, I need to figure out the biggest colour first and put that label on there, and then all the rest I will just put on there in order. So, Diamond Art Club organises their drills by the size of the bag. So if I go to the end of the strip with the biggest bags, that's going to be my biggest colour most likely. But the one at the end is out, but there's 4 of this. I think it's going to be this one, isn't it? Okay, so 3865 is going on here, and you know, if I'm wrong, it's no big deal. It just means that I'll have less kitted up and more, you know, left over in the bags. But there we are, decision made. So let me get these on here, and then I can actually get going. So yeah, there's so many different things that have happened in the past few months. You know, nothing major or terribly exciting, but I like to catch you up on things. I've had some health issues that are being looked into. I've been on holiday to France with my family. I say there's loads of things and then my mind goes blank. I've been busy with the shop. I have it's an interesting time in my family because my son is coming up to finishing primary school in a week. Primary school is the first like mandatory school that kids go to in the UK, and they're there from the age of 4 till 11 generally, and then he's starting high school in September. So there's like big life changes going on here. So I have all that kind of thing to talk about, and thoughts about the channel. So for instance, I am coming up towards 5,000 subscribers, which I'm very excited about because, like, I know it shouldn't matter, but it's reassurance that I'm on the right tracks if my subscriber count grows. So I really, 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 really appreciate every one of you that clicks on that subscribe button. You know, particularly if you've got notifications on as well, so you're watching a lot of my videos. I appreciate you so much, and I guess it's a form of validation, let's face it, and it really makes all of this worthwhile. So I'm coming up to that, and I've been thinking about that. Lots of plans for the channel in general, but yeah, once I hit 5,000 subscribers, I would like to put up a special video. I thought it would be interesting to just talk about my experiences as a YouTuber, tell you a bit about what it's been like for me. So I was going to do that and also a giveaway. I think I'll do a giveaway of some of my putty when I hit 5,000 subscribers. So there's that. And yeah, just other things that I've been thinking about or trying. But the thing that I thought I would focus on in this video, and the reason that I don't think I'll necessarily get on to talking about all that, is doing a little bit of a review of my kind of goals for the year. So at the end of December, I sat down and did a WIP'n'Chat where I talked through my kind of, I mean, goals is kind of too strong a word, if I'm honest, because it was all very loose. It's all very go with the flow. This is a hobby. It's for fun. I don't hold myself to hard plans. But I had some things that I wanted to do, and I thought it'd be interesting just to check back and see how I've done against that, because we're now a little over halfway through the year. So that's what I'm going to do. And then if I still feel like I've got things to chat about, I'll do a WIP'n'Chat soon. Right, I forgot a tray to kit up over. Let me go grab that. This is the one I've been using a lot recently. It's from By Stein on Etsy, and I really, really like it. I've got 2. Oops. I just thought I'd bring you in a bit and I went the wrong way. I originally had one of their narrower trays, and I did find that too narrow. I felt like I was always scraping the side. So then I tried their bigger tray, and I really like these. I've got this one and I've got a silver one, and I use them a lot. They are up there with Yellow Dog Designs for me for being favourite trays. So where's my scissors? I'm so bad at this. Right, let me snip up some of these so I'm not too distracted. And then, oh, this static isn't there. I'm gonna have to break off every few seconds to puff into bags. We'll see. Maybe it won't be too bad, but I will also get some dryer sheets ready before I kick off. I will say, this might be my imagination, but to me the static seems to go in phases. And for a while, dryer sheets were not doing that much for me. Like they were helping a little bit with static, but not as much as I needed. Like I have a whole video I put up quite a while ago now talking about tips and tricks for dealing with static. So if you are having problems with serious stubborn static, do go check that out. But recently I have been finding that dryer sheets, and they are the same dryer sheets. I've only ever had one pack that I bought for this purpose, which lasts for ages because I'm cutting it into tiny squares. Recently I've been finding it works a lot better again. I don't know why that is, or if it's in my imagination, but it is the easiest thing. As long as you can get the drills into the pot, the easiest, laziest option is then to just, whoops, snipped into that, to just, you know, put a dryer sheet in, shake them round, leave it to settle. Yeah, that's what we like. So hopefully it will be more on that end of the scale. Right. Okay. Just collecting myself. I will kick off in a moment. Right, I'm back. What I was actually doing, and for some reason I felt all coy and didn't say, was I was stuffing my face. I suddenly realised I felt quite hungry, and I thought if I film, my stomach's going to be rumbling and you're probably going to hear it on my mic, and that's going to be embarrassing. So had a little snack, now I'm good to go. So my plans for the year. So as I said, they're pretty loose. It's not a big deal whether I've hit them or not anyway. But I'd say I've done reasonably well at sticking to them. So my first goal was to do monthly mini Dazzles. So the mini Dazzle set from Diamond Art Club that has a picture for each month of the year. I was going to do one of those every month so I can put it up in that correct month on my desk in my office. And then I was also going to do the DAC calendar that they kindly sent me for a sneak peek last year. And just kind of more small projects in general, because it was something I discovered last year that I was just really enjoying those smaller projects to break up the bigger projects, because I do tend to work on a lot of big kits. So this has been going reasonably well. I'm up to date on the months of the year mini Dazzles. I did fall behind at one point, but I've caught up again. I haven't kept up with the calendar, but I'm not really counting it as a fail, because it was like, I didn't fall behind. It was a conscious decision that actually I didn't want to stick to that. I did January and it was fun, but then I went to do February, and it was the start of when I was having a lot of back and neck problems. So that was part of it, because that's when I need to work on flat. It doesn't really work on my easel. And yeah, I struggled with it. But also I thought, like those projects where you have to single place because they're not lined up, they're just sort of placed randomly, you know, the kind of thing I mean. I don't mind that in small projects, but those are quite big, the calendar pages. They were taking a while, and I just thought I don't actually care to do this every month, so I decided to not bother with that one. So I think I made a start on February, and that was literally it, but it's okay. And then in terms of small projects, I've only just started it, and I'm seeing that I'm leaving loads in there. There's 2 colours that I can see that still have drills in the bags, which you don't want to do, particularly when they're smaller colours in the painting that don't have a lot of drills to start off with. Get out! There's that one, and the other one was 4 out of 7. It's probably just because of static, but yeah, there. Okay, I caught them. So smaller projects, I have done one set of mini Dazzles. Oh my God, why is that there? What is going on? Right, moving on. I did one set of mini Dazzles, the Dragon series, which I think I showed you the first part of in my last, my quarter 2 review video. I'd done a couple at that point, and then I finished them. I haven't done any others, but there was a huge long period earlier this year when I barely diamond painted for like a month and a half or so, because of health issues and because of being in a bit of a slump with it, which was another thing that I planned to talk to you about that I don't think I'll necessarily get onto, but hey ho, that's what future WIP'n'Chats are for. Oh God, see, I suppose this is what I was saying. The static is not so bad that I can't get them in the pots for the most part, but then they are sort of climbing the walls when they're in there, defying gravity, as the song goes. So yeah, the song does not go like that at all, Cat. Never do that again. That was terrible. So I haven't done many of those, but then relative to how much diamond painting I've done in general, I've probably done a reasonable amount, if that makes sense. And then my next goal was to finish my current WIPs. So at that point, I had outside the sweet shop from Diamond Art Studio, I had Christmas Cabin from Diamond Art Club, which I put away on purpose anyway then because it was, you know, I was done with Christmas. I had a little Randall Spangler called Huggable or something like that. I had a Mooney Made kit that was a cat fedora painting. I have a whole post review up on that one if you want to see. It's quite early in the year, so it's a way back now. That might have been it. So I did pretty well. I purposefully put away the Christmas Cabin one, as I said, although I'm now working on it. I'm almost finished with it because I got it out for Christmas in July, so I can have it done ready for the Christmas season. Those ones looked like they were going to be tricky to get out, so I thought I'd huff in the bag. So I did the Mooney Made, I did the Randall Spangler, I have done more of Outside the Sweet Shop, and I think that was all of them, right? So yeah, I wanted to get at least a couple of them finished by mid-April when I do my end of year review to celebrate each diamond painting anniversary, and I did do that. So that one went well. Then I had try at least one new to me company, and I wanted to try Oroloa or somewhere like Carrot Art, but I also knew I had a Jaded Gem shop that I was planning to start anyway, and that would also count. Oroloa, I did once buy from them, but then I changed my mind about the image and destashed it. I've looked at them recently. They have some lovely pieces, and there was a landscape I was looking at recently that I really fancy when I have a bit of money for it. So I might do that. Carrot Art, I've looked at their website a few times. They have less that's my personal taste. So yeah, I haven't seen anything on there that I really would like to buy, and I'm not going to buy something just for the sake of it because I won't end up working on it. But Jaded Gem Shop is where I got The Apprentice by Cat Fedora, two versions of that, the original hybrid render and the pixel charted, hand charted version. And I'm doing my comparison project. So point 4 was to start the comparison project, which I did, and I've done 2 rows on each of the kits this year. So that ticked off both of those rather neatly. And that's going well. I haven't got back to the comparison project yet since my last checkup. I'm waiting for some replacement drills from Jade, which are on the way, because I said in my last catch-up video that I was having big troubles with the 310s in the pixel charted version. Hang on. Because they were just sort of too big for the grid, as well as being trashy. And someone said, well, why don't you ask for more? And I hadn't really thought about it because it wasn't like I'd run out. But I did reach out to her and said, look, this is really affecting it. I'm worried it's going to make drills pop. So even though I haven't actually run out, I think there's a good chance I will with the amount I'm having to trash, and it's going to cause issues like popping. Anyway, so she's sending some more over. So I'm waiting for those before I do any more on those. And then I had a think about which kits I most wanted to work on from my stash this year. So this is also a video I'd like to do sometime soon, to kind of pick out the sort of top 10 kits from my stash, or top 5 or something like that, that are the ones that I most look forward to working on, and the ones where there's a creator called Diamonds on Washi on this app who I'm sure most of you will have come across because she's very well known. She has a fabulous channel, and she talks about rainy day projects as the kits that she just kind of, she loves so much that it's hard to bring herself to work on them and have them be done. and they have special meaning to her, that kind of thing. And I kind of thought I'd maybe do my equivalent, because I definitely have a few like that where I love them so much that I can't quite imagine having them being done already. And a couple of those somehow got listed in this, what I was thinking I'd work on this year, and that seems unrealistic. But I had All Things Become Love, which was a Dean Russo kit that Diamond Art Club did for one run ages ago now, probably like 2022. Oh god, this colour's not good. And I got the All Things Become Love is the cat one in that series. They're like really bright and colourful, like psychedelic colours. Love that one. And that is definitely in that camp where I keep thinking, oh, maybe I'll work on that. And then thinking, not sure I want to have it done. Fabiola from Richard Lorenz is another one in that category. It's one of my favourites from one of my favourite artists. So I kind of struggle to imagine getting that one done and finished. And then I also had Running the Distance on here, and I have done that one this year. I didn't do a post review, but I covered it in my Q2 review, if you want to check out my thoughts on that one, which were mixed in the end. I loved the artwork, but I did have some troubles with motivation on the kit, just because of the nature of, like, you know, the colours I was working with and the confetti and that kind of thing. But it turned out beautifully. I also had Secret Temple, which is an Image World picture that I've had since, I think it was Black Friday 2023, when I got it for a sneak peek. I was so glad, because that was one that I'd voted for and I loved the image. I'd done it as a jigsaw, and then I got offered it as a sneak peek and I was so excited. So that's another one that I would love to work on, but never seem to quite get around to. But that's a big one, so to be honest, that would take me ages anyway. Yeah, so those were the ones I was thinking. And I'm definitely thinking I need to do a Richard Lorenz soon, because I haven't done one in a while. Sort of not too far away from the time of year when I start thinking about seasonal images for Halloween and then Christmas. So I do need to think carefully about what I want to get done before then, because after that point I get kind of a little bit sort of booked up. I've just remembered something else I'm going to need. Hang on. There we are. These big bags here, they're not all going to fit in one pot. So I will seal the bags with this. What was next? Next was getting my stash in order, doing a big de-stash to spring clean and letting go of some that I know I'll never get round to. So I've had some progress with this. The problem is I have been buying at a rate of knots recently. There have been so many releases that I just couldn't fathom missing, however much I knew my stash was getting out of control. And by out of control, I mean there are definitely people out there with bigger stashes than me, and I'm not here to stash shame in either direction, up or down. But I'm at a point where I cannot fit them all in the cupboard I have for them, well, the 2 cupboards I use. There's now kits in the loft. Yeah, it's physically too many for me to have. So I've got to start making room and kind of doing a bit more of a one in, one out. So even though I did de-stash quite a few earlier in the year, I need to do that again. It just needs to be an ongoing process, because I love new images, and then I look at old images in my stash and I probably still love the artwork, but after a while I'm like, well, it's sat here all this time, I never think I'm actually going to feel like it reaches the top of the queue, and then that's when I de-stash. And then I had find some more small shops to support and try, particularly pens and trays. That's one I've done rather badly at. I have not been buying as many accessories recently. And I'm not going to feel bad about that, because the reason for that is largely that I feel like I've got ones I love and I have a lot of them already, and it just feels a bit indulgent. That's not to say I've stopped buying accessories, and my favourite place to buy them is still small shops. I just have not bought nearly as much. So I haven't really been looking into new places, because, yeah, I'm so set in my favourites at the moment. And they are all from small shops, so they kind of meet the brief, that I don't have much incentive to buy from so many other places. I will get on that again though, because there's always new places starting up and I don't want to kind of, you know, and there's places like, say, Mooney Maid now does new trays and I'd like to try those because they're different to the ones I've got. So I'll get round to that stuff, but it's a gradual process and I don't know that I'll ever get back to doing kind of monthly small shop showcase videos, because they do encourage me to buy things that I know I don't need and that I know I might not end up using. I thought someone was ringing me then, but it was my battery, my watch battery telling me it was about to die. So that one is a bit of a fail, but for good reason, I think is the fairest way to say that. And then I was talking in that planning video about plans for the channel. So I wanted to do an updated stash video. I have not done that yet. It's still on my radar to do, but it's a big old job because there's kits everywhere. They all need to come out. It's a long video to film. I might actually break it up this time because I've seen other creators do like part 1 non-DAC kits, part 2 DAC kits with a theme or whatever. And that might be the way to do it, not just so that it's not a really long video for you, because I do tend to chatter on a bit. I don't know if you've noticed. Last time I put up a stash video, someone told me I was going on too much about them. I don't think my style is for them. But yeah, I think it'd be better to break it up, but we'll see. It's still on my radar. I'm not sure when I'll get round to it. I was also talking about doing a real-time ASMR video because I've seen someone doing that and thought that was really fun. Still something I may do at some point. I haven't got round to it. We'll see. We'll see if it ever happens. I put that I wanted to do more day in the life type videos. Now, something I have been trying to do recently, and trying is the operative word because I have not succeeded, is I had a go at vlogging. Because some of the creators I watch do vlogs and I find them really fascinating because I'm nosy. So I like getting that extra insight into people's lives. And then for me, like, a lot of my life is centered around diamond painting because my work is running a diamond painting putty shop, essentially. That's the main thing that I sell. The problem with vlogging is you kind of, to do it right, you need to talk into the camera, and I can't get used to it. I feel so self-conscious. My eyes are skittering around all over the place. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it something you would want from me? Like, hop in the comments below if that's something that you think you would watch, because maybe I should do it that way round, because there's no point in me pushing myself way out of my comfort zone if no one cares about seeing my ugly mug on camera and no one's that interested in, you know, my day in the life. Let me know. But yeah, I was going more down that route rather than short style videos because of algorithm stuff, which is, I don't know. I spend too much time going down rabbit holes on Reddit, and people say you shouldn't do shorts if you generally do long form because it cultures the wrong audience. Who knows? Yeah. Let me know. I'm really interested to hear what you think about that. And then I had plans for the shop. Obviously, I hope to keep growing, keep expanding the range. I said I wanted to get my 3D printer up. Oh, I said I had a big project plan for the springtime, and I did pull that off. That was the hamper that I released in May. And I did put a video up on here. That went really well. I enjoyed it a lot. People seemed to enjoy it. Oh, look at the static in there. And I'm going to be doing it again. I am planning another hamper. I'll put this out there now as part of my Halloween releases. I've put too much in there now. I can't put a dryer sheet in. So I always do Halloween putty. This year there will be, as well as individual putties and bundles and that kind of thing, there is going to be a new version of a hamper So I'm excited for that, working on that at the moment. Other things, I mean, I haven't got on with things like setting my 3D printer up. I feel super daunted about that because time is low, and I know that it's not like I'm going to plug it in and go, you know, it's going to take a lot of playing around with it and practicing to get something that's worth selling. I don't want to sell people rubbish, so yeah, we'll see. Hopefully eventually I would like to do that. It has definitely been quieter this year. I had to close shopping to EEA countries because of regulations. I've probably explained this in the past. It's not terribly interesting, but legally I cannot sell to those countries at the moment. So that has affected me a bit, unfortunately, although I do have some fabulously loyal customers from certain European countries who find very inventive ways to still access my putty using friends and such like. Very appreciative for them. I think that the tariff situation with the US has also slowed things down a little bit. Although there isn't actually any, like if someone orders from my shop from the US, at the moment they won't pay anything extra beyond their usual sales tax, because there's this thing called the de minimis exception or rule, or whatever it might be, which says that personal orders of under, I think it's $800 in value or something, don't have any extra charges. And that will go in the future, but right now it's still there, but I'm not sure if, I think just people are cautious, you know, the economy changes. Anyway, it's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just thinking about how I can flex and change and just make sure that, you know, my shop is still serving a purpose and providing products that people want. And that was the end really of the plans that I went over in that video, I believe. So now it's a case of take my pick of which of the other topics I can talk to you about. Maybe I'll talk about the one that's probably most on my mind at the moment as a near to my heart kind of thing, which is my son finishing primary school. It is wild. You know, you have a child and you know they're going to grow up and you know that's going to be fun and bring you all sorts of new fun and new challenges and all the rest of it. But it goes so fast. I was saying to my husband the other day, he started this school when he was 4. He's now 11. That's 7 years. I'm not patronising you. There's a point to this. In another 7 years, he will be an adult. He'll be 18. That is how fast time goes. And now he's going to be starting high school, which he is very ready for. And that's the way it's supposed to be, right? You finish one school, you're supposed to be emotionally and academically ready for the next big thing. And he is. But I still think he's possibly underestimating how big a change it is. You know, you go from being a big fish in a small pond and you're all in one classroom and you have one teacher and you're with the same people all the time to you've got so many different teachers, you've got all these different people to meet, you've got all these new subjects, you're like moving around this giant school trying not to get lost. It's a lot. And it's exciting, and I don't want to diminish his excitement at all, so I'm not saying anything, but I'm a little worried that his expectations are kind of higher than it can live up to. His high school, which is the nearest high school to us, and it is the one that we chose for him, so we're quite happy with it. Because in the UK, I don't know how it works in other places, but well, at least in my part of the UK, because it does vary, you apply to different schools and then there are criteria based on things like, do you have siblings in the school? Do they have siblings in the school? Do they get priority? How close do they live? Are they in what you call a catchment area? All these things. And we thought he was going to get into this school anyway because it was the obvious school for a kid who went to this primary school and lives where we do to go to, but you never know for sure, and he did get in, so that was good. So we're all happy with it. But it's just you know, this is the place that is going to have such a huge impact on the remainder of his formative years, you know. It's a big deal. He will become an adult in that school, most likely, unless he moves somewhere else for the sort of final exams he'll sit at that point, which we call A-levels. It's made me very reflective, and I'm kind of sad that, you know, our time with his current school is coming to an end, because they've been really good for him, much as he is ready to move on and he's not happy with certain things there. My husband and I, with the kind of extra perspective that you have as adults, know it's been a really good school with really lovely teachers, and he's had a good time there. You know, it saw him through the COVID lockdowns, when I was homeschooling, but actually we had a ton of support from the school, and it was set up really well, and they just managed it brilliantly. The head teacher was really supportive of all our concerns around it. It's just, it's a lovely school, and it's sad that we're not going to be part of that community anymore. I mean, I say that, but my husband is an absolute sucker for volunteering for things. And a few years ago, he became a parent governor, and they've since found out how useful he is, and he's kind of taken on more and more responsibility, and next year he'll be chair of governors, or as he calls it, ironically, King Governor. So I suppose we will still have a connection to the school, which I'm kind of glad about. But yeah, he's got his Year 6 Leavers production this week on Thursday. My mum is travelling up to watch it. She really wanted to see it, and I let her know when it was, and that we could potentially get a ticket for her. You know, it wasn't just limited to us two, but I assumed she wouldn't be able to come because my dad has recently had a knee replacement. Hang on. And it was like 3 weeks ago now, so he's out of like the most acute recovery period, but it is a long slog recovering from a knee op. So I assumed she wouldn't be able to come, but actually he was, you know, fine about it, and she was so keen that she's actually coming all the way up from where they live to us on the train just for one night so she can watch it. So that's going to be fun. And I've never, like this, he's never done a production like this in the school since they were really small. I think they were 6 or 7 last time they did something like this and did like a nativity play. He's got a speaking part. He has several lines, which he's had me test him on. So it's going to be really fun. It's called, what's it called? It's a play on the X Factor. Oops. So it's like the X something. And yeah, they're doing like a singing competition, and I don't know all the details because like I've not spoiled it for myself. So that is going to be fun. And then next Monday, there is a Leavers Assembly where, oops, I got a bit overeager there, didn't I? So they give out some awards and just do, you know, finalising time in the school type stuff. And parents can go to that, so I'll be going. My husband can't, which he's sad about, because normally we both go to these things because we both have very flexible jobs. But that one will just be me. And then they're doing a party for them on the Monday after school. They have a Leavers party. Apparently, what they do is they use the school. They use the whole school. So they do things like, and my husband has all the insider information because he's a governor. He said not hide and seek as such, because that would be too much in like the whole school, but thinking along those lines, using all the space of the school after everyone else has gone home. So it sounds really fun, and like, you know, they'll feel really grown up for it. And then on Tuesday, he finishes. I feel like I'm going to cry. He's already said to me suspiciously, "Are you going to cry?" I'm like, probably. And I will probably cry on your first day of high school as well. I cried on your first day of primary school. May as well complete the set. So, yeah. Huge changes coming up, and I do not know how to feel about it. But, I mean, it's coming whether I'm ready for it or not. And whether I'm ready for it is not really the point anyway. So, yeah, we're getting on with it. And then he's got 6 weeks or so of school holidays, and then it is off to high school. So like on my big long to-do list of things that I'm just not getting around to at the moment is to sort his school uniform, because I have to make an appointment at a specialist like high schools in the UK, because we always do school uniform here. I keep trying to explain these things because I know a lot of my audience comes from the States, and I know things can be different there. So generally schools in the UK have uniform, even in primary school. High school, they almost certainly do. Our uniform is actually really, really flexible for the school he's going to. So like they have a PE kit and an academic uniform, and they can wear whichever they want on any day, and it's great for that. But they do have to have a blazer with like the school logo and stuff. So that's the bit that I need to go to the specialist stockist for. So I've got to sort out all these things in the holidays, and then we're away for about 10 days in the holidays, going to West Wales. If you've followed me for a while, you might have noticed that we always go there every year because my family have a caravan there. And then we'll come back, and there'll just be a couple of weeks left really. We'll have my nephew staying for some of that. So yeah, it's going to be busy, busy, busy. And before we know it, it'll be September really. So all of this is very much on my mind at the moment. I'll get his SATs result this week as well. Obviously I won't share anything here because that's private information. They are standardised tests that kids do at the end of year 6, which are not particularly important. They're not qualifications that count for anything. They reflect as much on the schools as on the kids, and they're really a way of, you know, monitoring schools, because one of the big things that primary schools are measured against here is not the actual level of achievement of students, but how much they've improved from when they started school to when they finish. So for instance, in a school in a more deprived area where people may have had a slightly more difficult start in life, it's about them, how far have they come from that point, rather than, you know, are they getting top marks kind of thing, if that makes sense. Anyway, so they're not a big deal, but it's the first time that he's sat exams like this. Oh gosh, I wasn't looking, and I've shaken those drills everywhere. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what he gets. He'll probably do fine. He's a bright kid. So yeah, I don't know, for someone who says I'm going to be conscious of my family's privacy, I've probably gone on about him a bit too much, but it's more really my feelings about it all that I'm wittering on about, isn't it? So I'm almost done, and I have 2 or 3 days worth of Christmas cabin left to do. The part of it that I have been working on has been super confetti intensive, so it's been slow going, but really satisfying, and I've enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, I'm excited to have that done, so that when it gets to the Christmas season, it'll be all ready to go up on the wall, and then I can start a fresh new project this year. Excuse me, the cough setting in. This always happens when I film. This is the 3rd video I filmed today. Not sure what order they'll go up in, but yeah, my voice just starts cutting out. It gets dry from yabbering so much. Do you know what? There's been static in most of these bags, but none of it's been horrendous. I can cope with it fine if it's like this. If it's just, you know, have a quick puff in the bag, shake it round and whack a dryer sheet in, and I'm pretty confident that next time I come to it, it'll be all right. I can deal with that. So yeah, this will be next. Well, I don't know actually. I'm quite tempted to do another row of Outside the Sweet Shop when I finish Christmas Cabin, and then work on this. But on the other hand, like I said, I'll quite likely start on this and then need a break from it when I get a bit too fed up of colour blocking. So maybe I'll just go straight to this. I don't know. For someone who says I don't like to plan too much. But But then I do, when it gets to like the near future, I like to have plans. I don't think about what I'm going to be doing in a few months' time. Because who knows what I will want to do by then. And I'm very much someone who goes with my feels with diamond painting, which is why I have loads of whips on the go and switch between them really, so that I can go with my feels and work on whichever one I most fancy on any given day or at any given time. Oops, last few clingers in there. And one more colour. And we're almost all done. So that wasn't too painful. I keep eyeing up the other, I was going to say pieces. Is it? Yeah, there's at least a couple of pieces that Diamond Art Club's released from this artist. And I love all the artwork so much, but I don't know, I'm just not sure. I think I need to do this one and see how much I enjoy all the colour blocking before getting any others. Like there was a Christmas, they did a Christmas Christmas in July release last week, and there was one in that and it sold out super quick. I actually didn't get it because it had so much white colour blocking in the background and I just couldn't face it, guys. But maybe I will enjoy this so much that I'll feel like that's more doable. Okay, so I'm done. Let's move all my rubbish out the way. So I am all good to go. So I will hopefully be kicking off on this in a few days' time, and then maybe you will be seeing a post review soon. Maybe you will not. We shall find out how I get on with it. That's it from me today. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it, because it really helps with the old algorithm to tell YouTube what people are enjoying and what it should push out. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you stick around, so please consider doing that too. And I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.